3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Antimatters. Welcome to ANN News, episode 13. As you can tell, I'm out in the woods today. Today's show, not super jam-packed as it's been quite a quiet news week, but we do have a few things. And to warm you all up, now that winter's hitting, we got some hot topics. So, enjoy. First up, YouTube videos. First up today, one of my favourite shows on all of YouTube that can be found on the Ants Holliver Extra channel, and that is his podcast. This week, he done a whole podcast on keeping honeypot ants. Personally, I found it very interesting. I listened to the whole thing twice. But he had Antopia USA, who has, by the sounds of it, so much experience keeping Myrmecocystus and other honeypot ant colonies. And it was just great listening to him giving out all his tips and care tips. Personally, I went over to Antics and I haven't stopped looking at the honeypot ants since. I fired up the computer straight after and started designing a honeypot nest for them to go in. But yeah, that was a great podcast, as always. All of them are absolutely marvellous, so definitely go and check them out because they deserve like 1 billion views. Next up, Antscapes. He's been really busy this week, putting out 2 videos. The first one was an amazing video on his Campanodus maculatus, which are truly stunning ant, and of course they're Antscapes, so they've got a truly stunning setup as well. Second video was one with his nephew, I believe, and they made little jar terrariums, and it's adorable. It's a lovely little video though, and yeah, lovely little terrarium at the end. 10 out of 10 there. I do think though that making little terrariums is a great thing to do with the young'uns in the world. So I highly recommend going and checking it out. And they're really easy to make, these little jar terrariums too, so no excuse. They don't need much stuff either. A little sprig of moss and a few little sticks and you're away. Over at Ant's Hood's channel, he's also been quite busy recently. He said, I'm not going to be too regular on the uploads, but this week it seems we've got loads. Earlier on in the week, he did a video all on his Acromyrmex octospinosus, which were heading downhill until recently, although it does seem that they're going to pick up a little bit, which is great news. He also did a couple of live streams over the weekend on his Iridomyrmex species ants, aka meat ants, and he was cleaning them and moving them and doing all sorts with them. Yeah, so go and check those out as well. Of course, PJ's in there, making him do naughty things like put his hand in stuff. Well, asking anyway. Over at Wakushi, Sid lost a finger.
Oh my god, this is...
After fighting an Atta Mexicana, it bit his finger and cut through the flesh. Only a slight exaggeration, but yeah, he's missing a finger now. Stateside, Ants, great channel as well, good friend, did an amazing video on his Pogomyrmex oculodentalis. I've probably said that wrong. Pogomyrmex oculodentalis. Yeah. But yeah, he did a video on moving them about and stuff as well. They're really pretty ants. And if you're interested in getting some pogos, definitely go and check it out. What I find is if you watch enough videos, everybody gives like maybe 5% of a care guide per video. So if you watch 20 videos, you'll have quite a good all-round knowledge on the species. So definitely worth checking it out. Fourmis des Plaines, I probably said that wrong, but it's a French channel, did a great video as well. By the looks of it, he was cleaning out his Campanodus fed Chen Choice. Said that wrong. But he was using a little pooter, or aspirator as the rest of the world calls them. I like pooter though. But it seemed to do a great job, and I do think like the pooters and aspirators, people that have got them, like, love them. And a lot of people haven't got them yet, so yeah, maybe go and get yourself a little aspirator, because when you're cleaning out your ants, it does really help. especially if you're trying to sort like between things as well, like rubbish and ants. Round at Big Ross's, he was treated to a new high-tech ant version 4 nest. The new nest seemed really nice, and I'm a big fan of the proper screwed on joints, as with magnetic ones I've always worried that, well, I'm a klutz and I will knock it and I will detach it and I will not notice, and I will have escaped ants everywhere. But with the new lock-in method, you basically could probably throw it at a wall and it would still be in one piece, which is always a bonus if you ask me. Like, I'm not a fan of things popping off when you're not looking, and it does happen quite a lot. It's probably well, for me anyway, things popping off when you haven't noticed, that's the biggest cause of escapes. Now on to our first hot topic. The first hot topic this week is mental health and ants, and how you should really just be nice to each other. In the hobby, we are all ant keepers and we're all heading down the same road. We might stop off at different petrol stations along the way, but we're all heading down the same road. The greatest asset in ant keeping as well is each other. If you don't know something, there's a good chance someone else out there will. And if nobody knows it yet, there's a good chance that other people will help you find out the answers. So always be nice to each other. We all love ants and we are all humans. We're all on the same planet, breathing the same air. We all have different opinions and that's what makes us all special. If we were all just plain Janes, it'd be fucking boring. Excuse the French, but you've got a view on something and a bunch of other people have got another view. Don't let it get in the way of being mates. Everyone's got different views. Also like to add, if anyone ever is struggling with mental health, you know where the Discord is and you know where my messages are. I'm always here to talk. Finally, let's head over to Wild Stallions for some insightful talking. Go on then, boys.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So the second hot topic of this afternoon is hibernation. And yeah, I think now is about time. If your ants have stopped eating and things like that, don't worry, because they're probably getting ready to go into hibernation. And it might be time to put them into a cooler room if you can, just to kind of get them used to the idea. Basic Ants has a great video for this out at the moment, and yeah, he's just released it. Mostly, well, it especially applies to Lasius niger, although a lot of the things he mentions can relate to all. So now I'm going to pass you over to a special guest. We got Antcon.
Hello ANN News, I'm here. It's me, ANTYMATTERS. You can see behind me here, we see that there is the first snowfall of the year for here in the upper Midwest. You can see it is absolutely beautiful behind me. Not really, because it's October. If this was sometime in December, I think it would be rather, better. So nowadays, especially for here in the US, I think this is now the time for you guys to start actually putting your ants into hibernation. Like this right now, I think would be the perfect time. You guys can take them out in about about 3 months, and you guys can be right back on the same track. But the main thing is that you got to have your ants, especially if they're temperate, well, mainly if they're temperate, for them to be put inside of a refrigerator at around about 40 to 35 degrees, somewhere around that range, in order for them to get a nice deep hibernation. Of course, some of my ants don't end up needing to do that, but a lot of them do. So actually, pretty soon here, I'm going to need to be putting my ants in. Make sure you do this as well. Make sure to check for mites and other such, horrible things for your ants, before putting them inside of the hibernation. So yeah, just make sure you go ahead and do that, and as you can see, now's the time, folks. You gotta go ahead and get your ants in there real soon. Anyways, see you back in the studio, Antimatters.
Thanks so much, Ant, and head over to his channel and make sure you subscribe. It'll be linked below. Weatherman, oh yeah. Weatherman. Hi, you seem like a really fun guy. Do you mind being interviewed for ANN News and Weather? Great. So what do you think of this hibernation junk? You don't hibernate? That's insane. What about you, Moss? Oh, you don't hibernate either. Oh, and you don't hibernate either, Fern. So who does hibernate? Tree. How are you finding hibernation? Oh, like his leaves, it seems the conversation is dropping off. Let's head back to the studio. That's all really for today's show. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and bye.